Alright, yeah, welcome back to some more Magic Arena, and today is a very special day, which you wouldn't know by looking at this screen. If I actually clicked on page 3, then you all know what we're doing today. Jumpstart Historic Horizons has actually just been released on the client. I think as of the time of me publishing this video, I'm going to expect that this midweek magic turns into a historic queue thing, but it's just very silly that they updated the game and page 3 is where Jumpstart found its place. It's a pretty important set release, and yeah, anything short of page 1 and immediately swapping one of these out just seems very strange to me, but yeah, anyway, let's talk about what we're going to be doing today. Today, we're going to be trying to collect Jumpstart Historic Horizons so we can play some Historic in the future with this. For those who don't know, essentially, this is a Jumpstart format where you pick a pack, and then once you've picked that pack, it's going to select another pack that's roughly similar. I think that's how this one's going to work. Roughly similar to the first pack that you went with. So it could be a mono-white list that you picked on the first one, and then it's going to show you mono-white cards or something of a similar style. So there's like goblins, and then there's like a goblin sacrifice thing. So maybe you're more likely to get those in a combination. But it's basically pick a 20 card pile, and then pick another 20 card pile, jam it together, and then play it in a limited / constructed kind of format, where all you have to do is get 2 wins, and you get 2 rares from the newest set. You can play as much as you want, and as soon as you're done, you can resign and go back again. It costs 2,000 gold to get in. You won't be getting wildcards from doing this, but I think Vault Progress is a thing that can happen. So something to keep in mind there. There are a lot of cards in Jumpstart Historic Horizons which are going to be historic staples, so I hope to find a lot of those today. But for me personally, I just enjoy the Jumpstart format as it is. So what you're going to be seeing from me over the next week or so is probably a Jumpstart video on every day that I wouldn't normally upload. So it's going to be content every single day. The usual stuff of Historic, Brawl, Standard, well, just Standard 2022, and things of that nature. And sprinkled in between is some extra content of Jumpstart Historic Horizons. I figured since day one's here and we don't really have any of the cards, we'll start with a Jumpstart draft and see how we go. So, let's put our 2,000 gold in. I've been saving up for Jumpstart so I can collect as much as I want. So we've got some 2-coloured piles. This is new kind of to Jumpstart 2. I hesitate to call it Jumpstart 2 because Jumpstart 2 is coming out next year. This is Jumpstart Historic Horizons. So we can pick in the machine, which is a blue-white artifacts list. We could pick Madness, which is a red-black list. Terminal Agony. Madness. Okay. I feel like this should say destroy target creature or planeswalker, and then it can become a terminate with its madness cost. I don't know, that seems weird to me. And then this scaled up as well. Wren's Run Hydra. X and green, 0/0 with reach, enters the battlefield with X +1/+1 counters on it, and then you can reinforce X. I don't know what reinforce means. I think this is a mechanic that was introduced from a set that I've never played. I do like me some artifacts, and I want to replay Tempered Steel at some point, so I think we're going to go with Into the Machine and see what we can do with that. So, picked our first pack, and then it's going to pick something similar. So, basically, the way it's going to work, as you can see, is it's going to try and encourage us not to have 3 coloured piles, and that means we've got the blue and the white options. So, we've got Merfolk with Civilin of the Sea and Sky. Very, very powerful Merfolk commander. Merfolk Tribal is also a historic deck I want to visit at some point, so I'm tempted with that. And then there's Kiora, the Tide's Fury, 4 mana, 4 loyalty. Conjure a card named Kraken Hatchling, which I think is a 0/4. You can pay 1 as well to untap a creature or a land, prevent all damage that would be dealt to, and buy that permanent. And then the -3, turn a Kraken Hatchling, essentially, into an 8/8 Kraken creature token. That's pretty cool. And then we've got Cycling, which should go without saying, it's cycling. I don't know. I think we're going to pick Kiora, because the original Jumpstart had Planeswalker packs, and they were extremely rare. So I'm going to assume that the Kiora packs are of a similar rarity, and they're only going to turn up more likely if we get the color that mixes them. I know that they've changed the way that the packs are selected, where they do similar stuff, and it's set up in such a way where you will see all of the packs at least once on like your first cycle. So we're going to play this enough probably to find all the Planeswalkers anyway, but on the off chance that we don't, gotta get my girl Kiora in the pile. And usually the Jumpstart packs with Planeswalkers end up being quite good. So, let's have a look at what we're playing with. Usually I just go straight to what the rares are in the pack, and it looks like we've got Esper Sentinel as our rare for In the Machine. And I guess Kiora is our other rare for the Kiora pack, naturally. Oh yeah, that's the Kraken Hatchling, a Vanilla 0/4. Do we get another rare with it, though? We don't. Okay. So they also changed the way that the lands work. In the past, with Jumpstart, you would get a dual land that made a color of your choice, plus the color that the pack came as. So if you had a red one, you'd have a Thriving Mountain, whatever it is. Makes red or the color of your choice, and you get to choose that when it enters, so it helped fix your dual-colored mana base. With this one, we get the Tranquil Coves, these tap and gain life lands, if you got a two-color deck, and then if it's a one-color deck, it gives you the cycling lands. It looks like it's actually going to give us the cycling lands and the dual lands as well, which is interesting. So yeah, I think we'll just, we'll go with it. Oh yeah, there's also digital-only cards. I think every single pack has got one, right? So, Bounty of the Deep is Kiora's digital-only card. 3-mana sorcery. If you have no land cards in your hand, seek a land card, which basically means a random one from your library gets put into your hand and you don't shuffle. And you get a non-land card. Otherwise, you get 2 non-land cards if you have a land in hand. So it's a divination that could get you a land or 2 non-lands. So it's pretty cool. Just trying to think what the other one would be. I guess, yeah, Kiora's the digital-only card, I guess, because you're conjuring with the +1. So, yeah, we've got Bounty of the Deep, Kiora's Tide Fury, and then there must be another one in here, surely, for the metallic Into the Machine one. What is it? Oh, Baffling Defenses. Target creature's base power perpetually becomes 0. So this carries over into the graveyard, into people's hands, anything like that. So you can bounce it, exile it, kill it, whatever it is that happens to it. Its power will be 0. So, yeah. That's essentially the deck. Let's get playing with it, shall we? Usually I will do 2 to 3 games, depends on how long they go, but at the bare minimum we play until we get our 2 wins, and then that would be the video. So yeah, let's see how we get on. If you do enjoy this content, let me know down below if you're excited to see some more Jumpstart stuff. Let me know what you're planning to play in Historic as well, now that the new set is released. Maybe some of you are less interested in the Jumpstart side of things like myself, or unlike myself, should I say. And more interested in just getting into proper constructed. Let me know what you're going to be playing anyway. And yeah, let's get to the gameplay. This video is brought to you by the generous support of our wonderful patrons and channel members that you see here. If you'd like to support the channel and get access to cool content like sneak peeks, bonus videos, polls on future content, or access to a personal deck critique from myself every month, then hit the join button down below, or check out the Patreon link in the description. With all that said, let's get into the gameplay. Okay, we're in, and this hand is expensive. It doesn't do anything until turn 3. My experience with this deck so far is that it's garbage. I have actually played 2 games since the last one and lost both of them, and it wasn't even close. So I would recommend highly never picking either of these 2 card combinations, both separately and combined. Combined, they make the worst deck I've ever played in my life. But, I mean, I'm taking this hand, because maybe if the hand looks bad, then it'll actually turn out to be good, because... Hello. Because the good hands aren't good either. Well, our opponent led with a mountain and done nothing. We are already at our turn 3, so we get to start playing. I'm going to wait on Bounty of the Deep until, I think, after it won't give me a land. Harmonic Prodigy. This one's interesting. Tightening Coils. Yeah, I think I'm just going to play down Mistwalker here. Then an Aerophage. Then Wormhole Serpent if it comes to that. So our opponent's on Gruul. Awaken the Bear. It's a 5/7. And now it's a 1/3. I mean, if they'd have attacked, I might have actually considered blocking, but because it went pre-combat, I just don't see the reason why I would. Let's just go with the Aerophage. Let's get that growing a little bit. They got their combat trick out of the way, so now I'm more encouraged to block the Harmonic Prodigy if the possibility presents itself. Though with Prowess, yeah, I don't know. It's probably not worth it. Opponent has a Static Discharge. There goes the Aerophage. If we'd have got to untap with that, I think we would have won. Alas, we didn't. So, let's play the Wormhole Serpent, which should mean that I get the ability to block the Prodigy with no questions asked. Opponent went with the Static Discharge, a new digital-only burn spell. I think of all of the digital-only cards, this is the one that will likely see some play in Historic. Because it's pretty good. So it's like Red Prowess Wizards. Is that the theme? Not too sure. Target creature can't be blocked. Well, I don't need to use that ability. I just need to start swinging in. I think I'm going to apply some Tightening Coils to the Lightning Visionary. So let's see how they want to go about this. So now, because they've given up all their tricks, Rebound, I believe, means that they can play it next turn. Yeah, on the next upkeep they get to play that. So they gave up all their tricks well before they needed to, so I get to make it unblockable and now turn this into a useless creature. Faceless Salvaging. So 2-mana Faceless Looting basically over 2 turns, that's instant speed. It's pretty cute. Faceless Agent, another digital-only card. And Webweaver Changeling, 5-mana 3/5 with Reach. When it ends the battlefield, if there are 3 or more cards or creature cards in your graveyard, gain 5. Rage Forger. And Grizzly Bears. Alright, so I think Grizzly Bears means that the green is bears. You would have seen that coming. Oh, Rage Forger and Harmonic Prodigy is a thing. Am I dead again? Am I back to being dead? So, when it enters the battlefield, put a counter on each other Shaman creature you control. Whenever a creature you control with a +1/+1 counter on it attacks, you may have that creature deal 1 damage to target player or planeswalker. So, because this has counters on it, and it is a Shaman, this triggers. Because this triggers, and is a Shaman, it triggers twice. Spooky. So, if I used Bubble Snare on Lightning Visionary, I would at least potentially stop some damage coming through. And with this draw, I think I might as well go for that. Let's double duty tap down that Visionary. And a 2/1. I think I'm happy to swing with both. Doubt I get a block out of our opponent. And I could offer a trade, or I could just have a decent blocker. I think I'll offer a trade. Land, and is our opponent finally On good old top decks. Professor of Zoomancy. Bear Druid. Not a Shaman, thankfully. So Rageforger doesn't do anything anymore because it's got nothing with counters on it. So they want to offer a Grizzly Bear trade. I give you a Grizzly Bear acceptance speech. Alright, that's pretty good. It does kind of prevent me from cracking my clue token. At least for a little while, anyway. 3 for 5. Would they block with the Rageforger, realistically? And is there any point me testing that theory? I don't think there's a point testing me that theory. I'm just going to get in for a little bit of damage here. There's probably a world where I can win next turn. Ooh, go to 5. With another static discharge. I wonder if they get the full 4. Block here, block here. Block here. There's nothing to be aware of, so this is a bit of a weird attack. But maybe they've done the math before I have and realised that they're dead, because this is 3 for 5, 6. And don't quite have lethal, right? I can do this. 6. 3, 6, 7, 8. Yep, that was enough. Alright. Cool. Yeah, I mean, if they'd have not attacked in with everything and lost all their creatures, they're in this game, and if there's a third static discharge, they just win the game on the spot. If they could put a counter on a Rage, or put a counter on and keep their Rageforger, they kind of win that way as well. Yeah, opponent had some very questionable plays, but we kind of pointed them all out as and when they appeared. I'm just glad to finally have a win out of this deck, because this deck is very bad. It is so bad. Oh my god, I cannot wait to get my second win and quit. This is a quick resign. Alright, so we got our first win, which is a rare from Jumpstart or Modern Horizons set. Let's have a look what it is. It could be a mythic as well. It's gonna be Bizarre Trade Mage. This is one of the worst cards, I think, in Jumpstart Historic Horizons, for Historic at least. So it actually seems kind of fitting for this run, that we get one of the worst blue rares for the worst deck I've played in Jumpstart ever. But yeah. Draw 2, discard 3 on a 3-mana 3/4 flyer. It's alright, I guess, if you're like empty-handed and you just want the vanilla 3/4 flyer. Or if you've got a crazy amount of cards in your hand, then you could turn those crazy amount of cards into slightly less crazy but more refined cards. Those are kind of like your options. This is really like, if you were going to use it anywhere, it's where Bazaar of Baghdad actually sees play, which is Vintage and nowhere else. So, yeah, unplayable. Regrettable to find it, but yeah, we've got one now. Brawl. Woo! Next game. Alrighty, on the play. Cogworker's Puzzle Knot into Bounty of the Deep, which is going to get me a land and a non-land, right? Yeah. If you have no lands, you get a land and a non-land. Oh, so actually, no. We actually want the land in hand. Okay, yeah, we're going to keep this. I mean, I was always going to keep it anyway. Puzzle Knot is like a 2 mana reduction on Steelfin Whale to begin with. Put it with the jelly sleeves. I love the jelly sleeves, they're quite cute. Alright. Chrome Curry is nice. It's a beatdown threat. And since we're not going to be playing Steelfin Whale next turn, might as well go with the Chrome Courier. I think we want to put as many threats on as possible anyway. So this gives me 3 life if I put an artifact in my hand. It's a good Augur of Bolas. I'm just going to take Baffling Defenses. So both of these are revealed to my opponent. Yeah. Yeah, just take the Baffling Defenses. Our opponent has a threat. Then it is less of a threat to me now. Other goes in the graveyard, eh? Don't think this is constructed playable, but it's not terrible. Water Trap Weaver. I'm gonna guess that means that they're on Merfolk specifically. I don't know if that would be in anything else. And I think the Merfolk list is just mono blue. Well, we want to go with the scaling of a Nereophage here. Plus, we've got the Bounty of the Deep, although Seeking's not drawing, right? Yeah, so this is different from draw a card, so a Nereophage isn't going to benefit from Bounty of the Deep. Now we're going to let the 2 go through. Now, Esper Sentinel, you're a good card. Whenever an opponent casts their first non-creature spell each turn, we draw a card unless our opponent pays a tax, where the tax is Esper Sentinel's power, which is quite nice. We are definitely going to be playing that. If they had like counter spells, which I'm pretty sure they exist in some form in this format. I know Archmage's Charm is one thing. Yeah, Into the Royal bounce would have normally been taxed. So now I'm just going to go with replay a Nereophage. So, yeah, anything they play that is non-creature now costs them 1 extra, otherwise we draw a card. Croconura. Crocodile Frog with Reach and Evolve. So Evolve is if a creature enters with greater power or toughness, then it gets a counter on it. We're going to let the 2 go through. It's a pretty good card, though. I'll give it that. So this can only take the colorless off. So this is 1 mana minimum at any point. I'm going to go with a... I want to wait until I draw a land with Bounty of the Deep, I guess, so that I can get 2 non-lands. I don't really need to make my land drops. So let's just go Barbed Spike. That allows me to go Steelfin Whale, holding up and baffling defenses. Do this all pre-combat because I haven't learnt my lesson. Alright. Not bad. We actually have a pretty dominating board state for a change. Shark the Crab. Shark Octopus Crab grows the Croconura. Baffling Defense is not great against anything with +1/+1 counters on it, for the record. So it's now a 2/4, so it can continue to block the Nereophage and any of my flyers, which is why I haven't been attacking through. Wondering whether or not just like Baffling Defense as a Shark to Crab is a line we want to take, honestly. I played the land before my bounty. I'm so bad. Yep, pass. I would have had more to do with this turn if I'd have thought about it. It's just that natural instinct of drop your land immediately that kicked in there. We can attack next turn, though, assuming that our opponent doesn't play a 3-powered creature here, or a 5-toughness creature. Once the Nereophage gets to do its thing, then we're in a reasonable spot. They could have, like, a Capture Sphere or a Bubble Snare or whatever, but... There's a Shoreline Scout. Maybe it is actually a Simic list, because Shoreline Scout can conjure up a tropical island, which we might see here. I don't really know. I wouldn't imagine so, to be honest. Yeah, they just turned a 2-1 into a tropical island that couldn't be blocked. Like, this is a May, right? You may exile a merfolk. Yeah, I don't know why you would ever do that. That's baffling to me. Alright, we have our land. I'm going to play Bounty of the Deep, which allows me to seek 2 non-land cards. Would you look at that? Alright, go island. I could hit our opponent for a little bit more if I mana ward the Croconura, but I'm not really interested in doing that right now. Opponent can do some adapting, sure. Yep. And that's fine by me. Play the Sparring Construct. Yeah, I think we'll just pass there. Maybe I'm not being aggressive enough. Hard to say. Alright, so Tropical Island has entered the field. It's a lovely bit of art. You'd almost think it was a Bob Ross art. There is an island one that looks quite similar, actually. Let's see if they want to get in here. If they do, I will Baffling Defenses the Shark to grab and do a Mega Block on them. This might just be bait to make me do that. So it's a 1-5 now. So I'm going to go 3, 4, 5. Yeah, let's get the Thopter in there as well. If they've got a pump spell, let's make them have it. Yeah, it looks like it's left to right on Arena's thing, so it looks like they've probably got a pump spell that will kill the Steelfin Whale. Reinforce X6, oh my god. Alright. So that's what Reinforce does. Discard a card, put X counters on a creature. We're going to put a counter on Esper Sentinel here, so that they pay a little bit more. Now that they've put some extra mana into their Shark Crab, it seems only fitting that I make it useless again. And I don't believe we've got another Conjure thing, but it doesn't hurt to leave another card in hand, I suppose. Let's just make the Esper Sentinel have more power, because that's what it cares about. So now if they play a non-creature spell, they have to pay 3 on top, otherwise we draw. Which, at this point, isn't going to be that much of a tax, considering they've got 9 mana. So, yeah, this is a pay 3. Bred for the Hunt. Whenever a creature you control with a counter on it deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. Ooh. Let's see if they want to get in with a Croconura. They do. They will really want to draw a card, and they think that I care about my Esper Sentinel. So I'm going to make a 1-1. Once this Croconura's out of the way, I'm happy. You wouldn't have another pump spell, would you? This delay. I think this delay says all it needs to say, really, doesn't it? Applied Biomancy. It does not say enough, apparently. So, let's kill the Croconura. Let's kill the Shoreline Scout. Everything looks good there. Yeah, it's fine. Could have been worse. Got this fight. It's +1. Yeah, that could be a combat trick that I had to play around, but wasn't the case. Glass Casket, unfortunately, doesn't hit the Shark to Crab, which is certainly a concern. Yeah, I'll hold this. There is an indestructible merfolk that draws cards. Oh yeah, I forgot I'd done that to it. Block here. Say... deal. Hard evidence. Now that is a solid draw. Alright, so that makes me a boy. The extra on top of the boy being made gets me a clue. Which gets me a secluded step. Which I'll cycle, growing the anerophage a little bit more. Our opponent is going to adapt the shark crab, but nothing I can do about that just yet. Oh. Actually, we want to do this because they're going to tap down my 0-3 to try and draw a card with bread for the hunt, so I want to get in for 4, so I'm pressuring our opponent. But also leaving back a creature so that I can chomp and stop the bread from happening. Let's play a land, pass the turn. Yeah, so Chrome Courier's blocking shot grabs Simic Ascendancy, wow. That's the thing. Now they get to draw a card. Yeah, that's a combo that could probably kill me. Bread for the Hunt is a solid card here. Yeah, looks like I'm outclassed, so it costs them a lot less mana now to tap my team. And they're going to win with the alternative win con that I can't deal with. So I'm going to get rid of their card advantage a little bit. Pass the turn. I can probably never block for the rest of this game, so I don't know what I'm hoping to draw. Icy Manipulator, I guess, does a thing. But it has that inevitability still attached to it. I'd probably be swinging and drawing a card before I did all of this, although... yeah, they can only put me to 1, so maybe it's right. Mentor of Evos Isle. Creature in the hand, potentially, perpetually, gains flying. We draw a land, and we are dead. That's a combo. On to the next one. Alright, opponent goes first. We've got, like, the best cards in our deck. But that's not really saying much, to be honest. Kiora is maybe the most disappointing Planeswalker I've ever played with. So, and we're playing her in a pseudo-limited environment. So she ain't playable here. She ain't playable anywhere else either. God, this card is bad. But you know what? People don't like digital-only cards, so they'll be happy to know that this digital-only card will see absolutely zero play in Historic. Let's go with Esper Sentinel, pass the turn. Mana War's pretty good. It's better than Kiora the Tide's Fury. By a country mile, I would say. They're on green-white. I'm going to play Parselmere. Perhaps they had a play that they could have made, but they've left it out because of the Esper Sentinel's taxing effects. Be a solid guess. Let's see if they go ahead and kill Esper Sentinel with the Knight of Autumn here. They don't. That's quite interesting to me. Could just bounce it and hit for 3. Yeah, that's fine. Give them the opportunity to correct the error of their ways, I suppose. And tempo swing them in the meantime. I'm just looking for my 4th land. I don't know whether or not I would play Kiora or an Anerophage, though. Maybe this is the one time Kiora is good. No, she ain't good here. 8 mana, creature gains +5/+5 and trample. I remember you. So I've got my 4 mana. I'm just going to Tightening Coils the Invoker. And swing for 3. Long time until we have to concern ourselves with that. The Tightening Coils, pretty good use. I guess actually they've got the Knight of Autumn which can hit the Tightening Coils instead, but if they're going to do that, that's totally fine. My main concern is building up a board that can protect Kiora, because that seems impossible with this list. Truly impossible. Maybe I got a little bit... I'm so confused by that block on block. Maybe I got a little bit too aggressive with my Tightening Coils, considering that we know that Knight of Autumn is in their hand. Good Fortune Unicorn. Whenever another creature enters the battlefield, put a counter on that creature. That's cute. So I think this is where we start trying to pump out Kraken hatchlings. Pass the turn. If I can turn at least one of these Kraken hatchlings into an 8/8, then I've got myself a substantial threat that we can run with. Freylease. Alright, counter unless... Well, draw unless they pay 1. They're going to let me draw. Wow. So Freylease untaps an elf. That elf... Oh, and a random elf gains perpetually 1. Minus seeks an elf card. 6 conjures a regal force onto the battlefield. Sure. Dwinnen's Elite. Oh, you're an elf. I would go with Dinosaur first, because it's closer, but... Yep, you're certainly an elf. Alright, well, we got a land. I'm going to turn this Kraken hatchling into an 8/8. Go with Anereophage and Scryfish. So now I've got a flying threat, I've got a ground threat, and that is it. That is all I have available to me. Seek an elf card. I'm not alone. So that is take a random elf from your deck and put it into your hand without shuffling the library. Or revealing anything. So everything's getting these wonderful little counters on it. Counter unless you pay 1. Well, draw unless you pay 1. They're going to pay the 1 this time. It fights and proliferates, okay. There goes one of my substantial threats. Coral Helm Guide. So, let's do this. This gets at least a block out of our opponent. I hope they pay block with the Invoker, because it's very close to activating right now, and that will kill me. Yep, glad for that to be gone. Let's play Hard Evidence. Draw a card first. See what we're working with. Land Guide. Do I need to fog anything? I don't need to fog anything now that our opponent did the Invoker. Well, the Invoker thing wouldn't actually help me at all. I wouldn't be able to target anything in particular, because this can target any creature. This is going fine. I could make another hatchling next turn, and then the turn after that make another 8/8. Need to do some scrying with my starfish. Alright, we get to draw. Bauble Snare, that could be good. It's gonna have to be, because this board state is very spooky. Let's see where they want to send all this. Okay, that can be blocked. Without really any concern. Yeah, I mean... Chump. Pretty easy chump block. I have to do a little bit better than that opponent. So this gets to untap and give it perpetually plus... perpetually this thing 1+1/+1 or something. Alright. Give me a good card. That is a Filigree Attendant. I only have 2 artifacts in play right now. So including itself, it would be a 3/3 that dies to Night of Autumn. I think that means that it's not good enough. Next. Secluded Step, not good enough. Draw. Not good enough. Alright. So, let's make... I could fog one of the creatures. I guess if I bubble snared the Seed Sculptor, suddenly my Kraken token trades with anything. This is 5 mana, so I can't really afford that. I'm just going to send it out our opponent's face. I'm just going to let it go. Down to 6. And then I think I'm just going to make a Kraken Hatchling. Plan on turning one into an 8/8 next turn. And saying go. I really don't think we're winning this. Our opponent's Planeswalker is better than mine. Our opponent's board state is better than mine. Opponent's hand is absurdly better than mine. I have no unblockable power beyond a single Coral Helm Guide, which will take far too long to get going. Oh, and yes, the Seed Sculptor can also just untap whenever they see fit. So now my 8/8s aren't good enough. Rishkar gives them 1,000,000 mana. And more counters. How much mana is this unicorn? 3 mana? Not really playable then, I guess, in Constructed, since we've got Winding Constrictor and whatnot. So opponent's passing. I'm going to draw with my Parselmere. I desperately need something good. That is not something good. Let me get my upkeep stop for my Scryfish. That is not good either. I don't know what I'm looking for at this point, though, because I actually know for a fact that nothing in this deck is good. Let's turn a Hatchling into an 8/8. Player Cove. Make... Oh, it's target creature! Oh! Oh, this entire time I thought it was just the guide. Did my opponent think the same? My goodness. Oh, I'm so sorry, chat. I'm sure you were screaming for the longest time. I finally noticed that the Coral Helm Guide is not as terrible as it may seem. Oh, we got our second win. Oh. Honestly, that is the biggest sigh of relief ever. This deck was terrible. Good lord. They are known to occur from time to time with Jumpstart. And it has been mostly a pleasure playing this list. Just getting back into Jumpstart in general makes me happy. Oh, hello. Zabaz the Glimmerwasp, a 1-mana Boros commander with modular 1. This creature enters the battlefield with a +1/+1 counter on it, and when it dies, you may put a counter on target artifact or creature, or its +1/+1 counters on a target artifact or creature. So, yeah, it gets to do its nonsense. It says if a modular triggered ability would put 1 or more +1/+1 counters on a creature you control, that many +1/+1 counters are put on it instead. You can destroy target artifact you control. So that would allow you to trigger modular. And then you can also pay white to give it flying until the end of the turn. Seems like an interesting Boros commander. I don't know if it's necessarily good, but maybe we'll play around with it in the future. That is all, though, going to be it for today's video. It's been a bit of a slog. I haven't showed you all the games. We actually like lost 5 times off camera in very unconvincing, uncompetitive matches, so decided to cut them so we could keep this video nice, short, and interesting. And hopefully you guys have enjoyed. And if you have, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe, leave a comment down below, all that jazz. And I'll see you all next time. Bye-bye.